1st. It is my son's half birthday. Super excited for another day. Totally grateful to be up, to rejoice in another day. It is very cloudy here. There's expected thunder and lightning. So we're going to get out there and get started as soon as possible and work as long as we can, as long as it's safe out there. A little drizzle, let those blessings fall down is fine, but if there's any lightning, we will stop. So we're heading towards Columbus. We're going to try to get as close as Columbus today. And so body check. Everything feels great. Mind. We're on Route 40 today. There's no twist and turn. So logistically, feeling really good and confident that we'll stay on track. And so far it's been at least 2 lanes, so that always feels good. Not always a shoulder, but always 2 lane. I'm hoping for no construction. There's been construction almost every day, and that sometimes gets my mind a little tangled up on which way to go inside the cones, outside the cones, all that fun stuff. So I am happy that the route is pretty straightforward, and my heart, yeah, I don't know. Other than missing my kids, I really want to hug my kids. I know I'm doing some growing out here, some shedding out here, some rewriting out here, trying to connect my mind and my heart. Doing my best at doing that. However, being gentle and patient with that. I'm sitting in that. Don't really have the words quite yet on where I am with that, where I will be today with that. I know that pain to purpose. I don't know if anyone can relate to that pain to purpose. What was meant to harm me, but God will use it for good. That resonates, but I haven't completed that writing on my story of that. And I know we each have purpose. I know I have purpose, and I want to make sure I'm of service of my purpose. So, as always, know that you're loved. Know that you deserve respect. Be it, share it. Share it with others. Help others to get there once you get there yourself. But first get there yourself and then help others. So kind of like when I climb Mount Beacon, get to the top and then go back down and bring others with you. Rejoice, make the most of it, and let's celebrate. Go where you're celebrated. Don't go where you're tolerated. Go where you are celebrated. Be your most self, your fullest self, your best self. Be the best version of you today. You versus you. Be a better you than you were yesterday. There you go. That's the challenge. I love you. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Check back in later. Bye. Happy August. New month, new day. Enjoy it.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to day 32. 32 days in, officially a whole month in the bag.
The whole month.
If those of you caught me last time, my apologies. I was clearly tired. I just kept saying a whole month, forgetting about the 31st of July. But we're here now. We are here in the month of August. And Tara, some exciting news for us in August. Where are we? Where are you physically?
I am in Columbus, Ohio. Physically.
Ohio. So last we checked in, you were not in Ohio. And tell me, getting into Ohio, are you there at the time that you anticipated, girl?
I haven't anticipated anything. I'm done anticipating anything at this point.
Mm-hmm. I think what we've learned is that it will be what it will be. Some days we set out with a great goal. We're going to go get here, and unforeseen circumstances arise and you fall short, or you get derailed, or there's dogs, or there's something going on. Other days you surprise us all, including yourself. So tell us a little bit about today's plan, because I just think it's a fun one to share with everybody. So today when you headed out, what were you thinking?
So when we headed out, I want to say it was around 8 o'clock, and it had thunder showers coming in around noonish. So I was like, all right, it was drizzling when we headed out. So it was the showers are already there. So I was like, all right, we're going to aim for 75, maybe get 80 if we can squeeze in the time before the lightning come, because we're going to be safe. And Mom had another plan. Mom was like, we're going all the way to Columbus. It's 103 miles. We're going to do it. Stop being negative. I'm like, not being negative. Just try to be, there's a storm coming. And 104.98 miles later, we're in Columbus, Ohio. So.
Yeah, what I love about that is that, a little bit of Sue action on the back end, being like, girl, I know what you can do. You may not see it in you, but she was able to see your ability to really push it. And so this makes 3 days where you've hit a century. And today, was it the weather? Tell me a little bit more. Was it the weather that made you feel like maybe 75, maybe 80? Or was it more the terrain? What was kind of like your thinking behind where you thought you'd be?
Yeah, so we got started around 8 o'clock. So I thought, Matt, with making sure I stopped and ate every 25 miles, I figured, max 4.5 hours of actual riding. So, that's where I was like, that's where we'll be, and I also not trying to push, because I've gone so far. The last thing I want to do is push and then feel something that I really don't want to feel with so many more miles still, until I get home. So knowing that I had limited time before the storm was going to roll in, I just was like, 75, 80 sounds good, but even Mom rolled up at one of the traffic lights. She goes, look around you. There are gray clouds behind you, gray clouds to the left of you, gray clouds, but in front of you, the sun. The sun is there. So we just kept riding towards the light, and we were able to make it into Columbus.
Nice. And so thank you to the clouds that have they purposely
led me,
stayed away from your path ahead.
Yeah.
Yet they let your path clear, because we know if they rolled in, rumble and tumble right over you, it would have been a wrap, regardless of how you physically felt. But just because you brought up the fact that you're pausing to eat every 25 or so miles, one thing that someone did ask me about that I realized we didn't talk about a bit is your actual diet, your, share with folks, what is it that you're actually eating?
So whenever I'm getting ready to do endurance, and while I'm doing endurance, the main thing that I do differently than I normally do is I eliminate meat. So I do not eat meat, which makes it a little tricky when I'm going to find food. But the past couple of days, I found some spots that have vegetarian food, veggies, good veggies. So that has been quite awesome the past 2 days.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about that, because you haven't always done this regimen while training. You've been an athlete your whole life, call it. When did you start to find your way in this path of meat versus non-meat? How does that feel on your body? Why do you stay with it?
So when I was training for the 100-mile run, I came across a show on Netflix. I think it was called Game Changer. And they talked about, how the gladiators back in the day, how some NFL athletes, they don't eat meat and they feel that they're able to recover quicker. Because I don't know exactly what's in meat, but there's something in there that causes the muscles to inflame, and that's why you feel the soreness. That's what I got from the movie. That's what I told myself, and that's what I believe. So I don't know if it's physical or, like, what is it called when you like take like the sugar pill and you believe it anyway. Anywho,
Yeah, like the
yes,
placebo
I don't know if
effect.
that's what's going on. However, since I seen that movie, I put it into play, put it into practice, and for whatever reason, either I believe it to a point that it actually happens, I don't feel sore. Like, no matter what the endurance I do, I don't feel sore when I don't eat meat. And then when I do eat meat, I'm like, I'm so sore. It must have been the meat. So I don't know. I know it works for me. I know I continue to do it because it works for me.
Mm-hmm. You could tell we're related because we're like, oh no, exactly what they said. But then I tried it and it worked for me. So I just stuck with it. So don't hold me accountable. But either way, that's what helps me. And so you mentioned it, but that's like a few years back. So this isn't something that you've done historically because, you're an athlete. You've been doing marathons for, decades. You've been doing triathlons. You've been, really pushing the limits in these last few years with all of your missions. But this is something relatively new in the span of your training regimen. And like you said, it's just something that works for you. Now, when you say soreness, like, are you meaning like tightness? Like, when you get, like after like a couple of days of training, like your muscles feel tight? Is it not tight, or like you're just not feeling like any type of like pain, like wear and tear pain?
I guess both. You know how like when you go to the gym when you hadn't gone in a couple times or a long span, and it's like day one you're a little sore, but day two, day two, day two is a different kind of soreness. So it's like I don't feel that day two soreness. Like I don't feel soreness. Sometimes it's like to the touch a little tender, but beyond that, not really. Like I don't feel, it sounds weird because when we think about what I've done in the past 32 days, it's like, you don't feel nothing. Nope. But I don't know if it's, I don't know, something mental because I know I have to go home. So what is it going to serve me by feeling, even like, I don't know if I probably shared this before, like if something does bother me, like, but my nose feels great. My earlobes, like there's so many things that are working for me. I try to go straight to the things that are working instead of really focusing on that. I mean, even if I get a pain while I'm riding, I'm like, Jesus, can you please take that pain away? Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. And I tell you, it disappears. It disappears. And then I just lean into the gratitude of all of the other things that are working. And it works for me.
Yeah, and what you're describing is that mind over matter, right? Like what is your mindset, right? Because, you can focus on the one thing that's bothering you, or you can train your mind to start appreciating the things that are working in your favor. And, where your attention goes, quite often everything else moves in that direction as well, right? So I think that's a great way of like expressing like how you're actually doing it, because I'll tell you, 1 whole month, more than 2,200 miles, right? Every single day getting up, like folks are like, how is she doing that? Like how, and I think like everything you just described just expressed exactly how. Not focusing on what she can't do, or not focusing on the things that are bothering her, but really setting her mindset right. Because in a lot of ways, and you can express this on anything. It could be a 5K. You get into that mindset first. Once you have that unlock, that I'm finishing this, I'm doing this thing. It's almost as if that discipline then gets everything else lockstep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to ask you about, because, now that you say Ohio and you're in our time zone and everybody is like, Ohio, I be going there. I know that. Tell us a little bit about what you have in store, right? So what other states are you going to hit before you get back to New York as you look ahead
So I was
here?
looking today, and it looks like I have to go through West Virginia and then Pennsylvania and then New York. That's what it appears to be. Yeah. the little tiny piece of land.
Yeah, so a little bit more of the a little more of the geography lesson, because y'all, before we started recording, I literally broke out my map, my Google map, because I was like, how West Virginia? Like, you going the wrong way, girl. You're going the wrong way. If you're in Ohio and you're trying to get to New York, where is West Virginia in between that? But nope, you're right. You zoom in closely, you will see this little sliver that's West Virginia. So you'll bypass that on your way in as well. And roughly how many more miles do you have to go?
According to the walking path, 557.
Wow. Now, does that feel like, let me just ask, because I know this is on everybody's mind, 500 and something miles. When you going to be home? Like, when do you feel like you're going to be home?
When I do the math, it's 8 days from today. I'm going to be home in 8 days. Now, if you ask someone in my family that has seen me outside of what I can see, you know how you're in the picture, people can see you around. Everyone who sees me is saying a lot less than that.
Yeah. Similar like today, when you were like, oh, I'm going to do about 75 miles or so. And mom was like, no, you're going to do that 105 and you're going to make it all the way to Ohio. So I guess it remains to be seen. And, folks, like, if you've been following us each and every day, like, you've seen every bit about this journey has been embracing the unknown and respecting the present moment for what it is, and for you to be open to the possibilities, right? So everything from, bless your heart, I think about all the time that you and our cousin Crystal spent on that initial map. And I mean, that was a lot of work that y'all put in.
I have 15 sections of maps. We put in a lot of time.
A lot of time, even mapping out hotels along the way. I mean, in so many ways, like this wasn't met with, just like being flippant, right? Like, so when because you may come off that, or folks may see that in you, that you're very open to like adjusting on the fly and all that stuff. It's not for the lack of planning, but I think what you've learned over the course of the many missions that you've done, and particularly this one just being so vast, is that despite as many plans as you may have, you really have no idea until you're there. So you've gone from a very physical, hard planned map. I remember, day 3 in, you're like, that timeline is blown. I don't know. Am I even going to make it back? Am I going to make it back for work in September? I mean, what is happening? I don't know if you remember that, Tara, but that's where we started. And here you are, like, I'm going to be all calm. I'm going to be home, in about 8 days, maybe sooner, which puts you, if you come home any more sooner than the 8 days, would be ahead of your original timeline that you, air quotes, blew.
God is good. That's all I got on that. But the other thing is, no matter what objective you put in front of you, my biggest takeaway, or what I would want to share and hope someone takes away, is that, have a plan, set it up, but always be adjustable. Be adjustable for real life. Real life's going to happen. And if you're not, and I do come across, and I know, but I'm like that in all aspects. Like, I truly believe in the higher power. I believe who orders my steps. If something goes left when I thought I'm going to take a deep breath and trust that change. And that's in anything that you set up of an objective, plan, or goal, whatever your vocabulary is you want to be flexible and open to make adjustments. Because when you get so locked into something, it can really, really stop you from achieving that, and also allowing it to be as magical as possible.
Mm. Yeah. And thinking about your greater mission around human rights, I think for a lot of folks, as folks are following your journey and saying, oh, what are the human rights? They start reading it, right? Pay attention to yourself in that as well, and be open, because it's so easy to like dismiss things, right? Because, maybe it doesn't land well on you. Like, be curious, be open, be willing to explore, because that is the first step. Giving yourself that permission to accept you're right as a human, and all the 30 rights that are in there written for you, and your ability to absorb them is really that first step in the bigger journey here.
No, absolutely. Because even when I first saw it, I'm like, wait, how did I not know that? And why would I allow for certain? And it's just allow yourself some space and some grace to take it in, and then let it transform, for it to help or make it better from wherever you're at.
Yeah. And that's where this mission is so important at this time, in this space, in the zeitgeist of 2022, just to remind ourselves and all of us to go back to and for similar to you, I may have skipped that day in school, but I don't remember when we really delve deep into what are these things called human rights, and who's responsible, and what do they mean, and how does that show up for us in our world. So, thank you for allowing us to explore that space and taking this on. As you say, this is just something that you feel compelled to do. But you're helping so many, just by shedding light and by not making it another thing that you got to go do. You know what I mean? There's definitely a world where it's just, I just want you to know that you have it. And I want to, and in a way that it's helpful for you, and in a way that it helps you no matter where you are, whatever's in front, we're all going through something. Allow for this education to support you in no matter what it is that you're going through, so that you can have that added layer of strength to face whatever it is that's in front of you. That's what's on my heart as I think about one, all the lessons that you've demonstrated along your journey, because I think it really it relates to any real big accomplishment that somebody goes through, because it's not a linear path, right? And it's not something that you're going to write down and say, day one is going to look like this and day two is going to look like, you have to be able to adjust, where see fit. You're going to have to be able to adapt to different environments, thinking about your diet, and how there were some times where you were like, oh, there's not really great choices for me where I'm at right now. But then also on the other side, adjust for the things that may derail you, but also be open to the surprises along the way, that like maybe you went further than you didn't think you would be. Maybe you're actually, after all these turns and bumps and bruises and going the wrong way 10 miles, having to come back, right? All these things that you did, and you're right on time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So crazy.
You're right on time. So welcome, and we'll usher in a August, girl. You're going to be here this month. Either way, you're going to be here this month. And for folks that are really interested in folks that want to be there when she comes into Beacon, or want to join us going up the mountain for her final steps, just stay close. We'll do our best to sound the alarm when she's close, and so you know which day it'll be and all that other kind of stuff. But we'll ask that you also take some of Tara's adaptability and be on the ready with us. So with that, I think we'll let you get to bed, and we'll check in with you soon here.
Love you.
Good
Thanks.
night.